Hello and welcome to Sembang episode 2. I'm Kimberly, your host for today's session. So what is Sembang all about to those guests who haven't heard of this Sembang, or maybe some of you are not familiar with it? So let's see if anyone with us. Maybe before I introduce or explain further about Sembang, so those of you who are joining us on live, could you please type in hi or good morning, or perhaps you can type in introduce yourself. And so anyway, today is gonna be an exciting session because we have two young guests joining us, and I'm excited to hear more about what they are going to share with us. So for Sembang itself, it's actually an online session where we invite different guests to discuss various environmental topics. So previously, we have this Sembang session last year, 2020, where we discussed about growing vegetables in urbanized city, or we talk about how actually students initiate their own green initiative or green efforts in schools, or we talk about how we can actually live a zero waste lifestyle. So a lot of topics has been discussed, and of course, we have received a lot of feedback from our audience saying that they have learned so much from our guests. So this round, if you want to know more about our Sembang session in future, and you want to understand further on how you can actually participate, or you want to know more what are the topics that we're going to discuss in the next few sessions, you can actually scan this QR code at the bottom left corner and to subscribe our newsletter. So that's where we will send you all the information, latest update, and from there you can actually follow us or follow more about what are the programs that we have in place for you. So in today's episode, we will discuss the topic of, is climate change unreal? Hi, morning, New Love Key. Hi, morning, Rian. Yes, so we're going to discuss about the topic of, is climate change unreal? So while waiting for the rest to actually join, I just want to hear some of the thoughts from our audience on this topic. Hi, Henry. So on this topic, is climate change unreal? So to those of you who are watching live with us, maybe Henry, Aiki, or even Rian and the rest, perhaps I didn't read out your name, but if you are watching live with us right now, if you believe that climate change is real, it's already happening, please comment cheese. So you can see in the crawler below, you can type in cheese. If you don't believe that it's real, no lah, climate change is not real. It's bullshit, So if you think that way, please comment crackers. Okay? If you think it's real, climate change is real, it's happening, please comment cheese. If you think, no, it's not real, you don't believe it, comment crackers. Okay? So, we do receive some of the feedback already. Henry say cheese, Rian say cheese. So let's see. We receive more cheese or crackers, okay? So meanwhile, after voting, please help us to actually share it with your friends and family so that they can actually join us for this live session, and they can gain some input about, climate change, or to find out whether is it really happening out there. So that's where we get our audience, we get our guests in to actually share their personal experience or even some of the input from the expert on this topic, okay? So Asha also comment cheese. Let's see if we have more cheese or crackers, okay? So just a quick run through on today's episode, okay? We will kick off the session by having a casual Sembang with two young environmental volunteers. So we will try to understand the topic of climate change through their eyes, through their involvement in those environmental projects, and perhaps they have seen things that we have not experienced before, we have never seen before. So that's where we will get input from their end, and also to understand from their perspective, okay? So after the casual Sembang session, we will have an input sharing session by Dr. Ahmad from the Habitat Foundation to learn more about the connection between climate change and biodiversity. Okay, so we also have comment from Stephen saying cheese, and Josephine also say cheese. Seems like right now we receive more cheese than crackers, huh? Hi, Haley. Hi, Haley. So yeah, Haley is saying about Penang population is increasing and it's a bit overcrowded. So yeah, Haley, please also drop us your comment if you think that climate change is real, it's happening already. If it's yes, comment cheese. If it's not, then crackers. Hi, Eddie. Eddie also mentioned saying that it's cheese. Okay. So yeah, for today's session, and I understand that during this trying period, it's hard for people to think about a problem like climate change, where some of the people probably are figuring out where to actually get food and put the food on table, and probably they have their own piece of worry at the moment. So I understand it's our human nature to actually to attend to our most immediate need at the moment. So, however, the fact that climate change might seem future, but that doesn't mean that make them any less of a problem. Okay, so in fact, climate change is actually the biggest threat to our nature and also humanity in the 21st century. So it's already said by some of the experts and also some of the researcher. So whether it's true or not, I don't know. But some people, when they hear about this, some of them, they fear of climate change. Some of them even deny that it's real. And some people, or even whom to believe. So yeah, I would say there are a lot of perspective have actually different perspective towards this climate change. So I understand different people see different things. That's why we have different perspective. Yeah, it's common. So that's why today, that's the objective also, where we actually invite our guests to actually share from their perspective, because they are the people on ground and they have the first-hand experience, what's happening. Of course, in our daily life, we are already sensitive enough, but probably if you're experiencing but you don't know, this is actually part of climate change. And yeah, so today it's going to be like I said, it's a Sembang session, so it's going to be a casual discussion platform. So if you have any comments that you think you have other perspective towards this topic, you're welcome to type in your comment as well. So we are open to actually discuss with our guests. We probably will raise up some of your perspective or your disagreement. Yeah, then we will discuss through this platform. Most important, where we are right now, so that we keep on move forward and we don't stagnant at the phase where we are. So we keep on improving day by day. Okay, so for those of you who have just joined us, if you want to find out more about our future session, Sembang session, you can scan this QR code to subscribe our newsletter. So that's where we will send you all the information, latest update, and so on and so forth. And to those who are still, just joined, we earlier on we will do think whether climate change is real or not. If they think it's real, then comment cheese. So far we have more cheese. So far we don't have any crackers. So if you think climate change is not real, then you can type in crackers. Okay. So without further ado, meanwhile we can still allow the comments to flow in. And meanwhile, let me just do introduce or bring in our guests. Okay, so let me welcome our first guest first. Our first guest, her name is Go Minyu. Hi Minyu. Remember to unmute yourself. Yeah. Hi Minyu.
Hi guys, I'm Minyu.
Yeah, okay. Minyu, maybe let me just give a bit of introduction about Minyu. Okay,
Yes.
Minyu, for some of the kids who attended her class before, maybe some of you are already here joining us on live. Yeah, I think last time you used to call her as Yu Jie Jie, right? So if we translate in English, it's called Sister Fish. which sister? Which one you prefer? Yu 姐姐 because of her last name, right? Yu, Min Yu. Yeah. So Min Yu is actually a fresh grad from Bachelor of Event and Marketing. And because of her passion and for the environment, this is where she started volunteering with the environmental body such as Selangor Project Penang and Nature Classroom when she was 18 years old. To a nature educator, her enthusiasm towards this environment has made her go beyond to promote wildlife conservation. So I'm sure whenever you go to the Selangor Project Penang or Nature Classroom, you'll definitely see her, in every project, like in her existence, and also she will be the one who probably guiding and teaching the kids. So yeah, welcome Mingyu. It's so good to have you with us today.
Oh, thanks for the invitation too.
Yeah, we are excited to hear more about all right. Yeah. So next we will have our second guest. Our second guest is also a young environmental volunteer and also leaders where he has a lot of experience in that. So let me just introduce him in. So hi. So our next guest is Shahrul Nizam bin Muhammad Shukri. This is his full name, but usually we call him as Shah Shukri. You don't mind if we call you as Shah?
Yes, yes.
Shah. So I just give a brief introduction about Shah. Shah is actually an under from UITM Aral Police, and he started volunteering in environmental conservation programs when he was 17 years old. And till today, he is the student leader for climate change in UITM Aral and the steering committee member of Greensmith. So his dedication towards this environmental conservation has definitely made him as the top 30 youth in climate uprise creator 2020 under Wise Media across the Asia Pacific. So hi Shah, could you please briefly introduce yourself?
Hi everyone. Yeah, I am Shah. I'm from Kedah State. I live in rural area. I'm lucky to have green stuff around me, but unfortunately, we are no exception in this climate change. So I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Kimberly.
Thank you, Shah. Yeah, exactly. Nobody is exempted from that climate change because we are living on the same planet, right? So yeah, Shah as well. So we are so no matter where we escape to, yeah. So all right, it's good to have both of you here with me because previously I've talked to experts or talked to doctor. I've talked to even secondary school kids, and this round I'm so excited because I get to talk to people of same age range. I would say we are all youth, right? Can I still consider myself as youth? But yeah. So anyway, probably I'm expecting that our dynamic will be a bit more. Yeah. So anyway, I'm so excited to hear from your perspective on this topic. It's climate change unreal. So for those live with us right now, so we have a few more guests, artists, and also Asha, Renu, and AB. Hi, Dr. AB. Thank you, Dr. AB. So yeah, and if you can echo with what our guest is sharing, their point of view, feel free to type in the comment below. Or if you have different perspective, like I say, you are welcome to type in as well. So although we won't have a debate immediately, but probably we'll raise up and we'll discuss. Maybe we'll see from different perspective, then we can learn more, okay? So hi, Henry. And yeah, so of course, we want to hear from all of you. Just type it in if you have any comment or any feedback. Okay. So remember, I will also want to hear from you, your votes. If comment cheese, if it's not, comment crackers. Okay. Well, Shah and Minji, I always believe this saying: you can't fix what you can't see. Right. I mean, you don't know what's the problem. Why are you attending to the problem? Right. So that's could be part of the reason why some of people might see climate change issue that it's real, that it's happening, but we probably will have different people say that it's not real. Yeah, it's not happening. So it's understandable because different people have different perspective. They see and they experience different things. So being the people on get to volunteer to summer program. Perhaps you visit to some of the places, like maybe Shah, you get to visit to Ulu Muda, and you get to see things to how to say, you approach people, you get to experience the life there. So in your opinion, I just want to hear, like, do you think climate change is actually caused by human factor, or it's because of nature factor, where it's happened because of it's one of the natural scene, or perhaps it's because of both reason?
Okay.
Yeah, maybe Shah, you will on this part.
Okay. Okay, that's a very good question. In my opinion, I think climate change is caused by both human and nature, but it is mainly caused by the human activities. As we know, like the main correlation of this climate change is global warming. And as we know, global warming occurs due to the greenhouse gases that release to the atmosphere, which are mostly from the human activity itself, right?
Exactly.
Like burning fossil fuel, burning the forest, or burning the paddy field. We got a lot of paddy field here in Kedah. Also, like transportation and many other more activities that could lead to temperature rise. Then this what makes it, this what lead to the climate change, but there's also natural factors that lead to climate change, like volcano activity, solar output, and the earth orbit around the sun. But like I said, I think it mainly caused by human activity itself. That's what make us need to be aware and choose what is the best for our earth and our community.
I totally understand. So I would say that you think that climate change, though both factors also affect climate change, but majority comes from because of human factor, because of human activity.
Yes.
That's your opinion, I understand. How about Minyi? What do you think on this questions? Like, do you agree with what Shah have shared?
Yeah. I agree with Shah's point. In my opinion, I also agree that mainly caused by humans for the climate change. Due to like what Shah said, the burning of fossil fuels like coal, gas, and oils, these elements release carbon dioxide a lot to the atmosphere, as well as deforestation, which people cut down trees because tree absorbs carbon dioxide during like photosynthesis. But if they are cut down, the carbon dioxide will be higher amount in the atmosphere. As well as the farming livestock. The livestock.
So like, yeah, no, it's okay. Feel free to continue just now. Sorry,
like farming livestock.
Did I cut it off?
Also, yeah, livestock. Raising the livestock generates like the gas emissions in the atmosphere. So the global warming gets worse also lah.
Understand.
So
how about how about from your how to say your involvement with this green projects, and also the projects that you have attended before, or you have volunteered before? I just want to know, like, have you actually experienced like firsthand you have the first-hand experience on this part, say deforestation? Perhaps you've visited some of the forests, which is much cooler, or the impact is much more. You can sense the difference of it between one that's well protected, one that it's already being exploited. Have you come across this kind of experience?
Especially like deforestation, as you mentioned just now. The field that I cover more is like conservation, so it's more like the balance of nature and human, the wildlife and human. So you can see that actually the deforestation causes a lot of animals don't have places to live, makes them come out to the cities, living in human areas. Yeah, so
Yes,
it's
exactly.
kind of imbalanced already lah, the ecosystem,
I
causing them
see.
don't have
Now
a
that
house
they
to live.
have to sort food outside of the forest, right?
Yeah.
Understand. How
That's
about
the
Shah? Have you come
As
across something like that?
something like very different right now. As here where I will speak about what I face right now in Kedah State lah, yeah. Like in Kedah State, people here, like I said earlier, we are surrounded by trees, but a lot of lands already. So people can't really
Yep,
see
yep.
the effect of the climate change because like it's not happen real the things that you can see in your eyes because here the change would as is definitely the temperature rise and we cannot
Yep.
see temperature rise, we can only feel it. So by that
Correct.
people just choose to adapt instead of taking action. They don't want to, they because they didn't see, they feel like, oh, this is normal, we need to adapt it maybe by purchase more air conditioner to make them
Oh
feel
yeah.
more comfortable
Correct.
around
They
there,
just
right?
turn on. Correct.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
yeah, that's what make it more sad. And like one of the example back then when I was in high school, um we allowed to do the sport training in the field at 3 to 5 p.m. But
Mm-hmm.
now the student only allowed to do training at the field like 5 p.m. above because of course the teacher afraid if the student having healthy problem when they do it around 3 p.m., right? Because the heat is just very hot out there.
Right.
And from
Too
here we
hot.
can see like of course the teachers very love the student, don't want to do want anything happen to the student, but at the same time why do you scared of the things of climate change but it's actually come from you. So
Yep, yep.
that's the
Often
thing that
people
we need.
don't really link it, right, to themselves. They don't really
Yeah,
think how they are part of this, right?
yeah, true. I think just stop blaming the environment itself. It's just blaming
Yeah.
yourself and start to take action and not
Yep, yep.
adapting it. Because it's
Yep.
not a joke. It's real.
Yep, yep.
That's from my
Exactly.
observation. What happening here?
Yes, exactly. Because whenever we go out, we can see human, it's one of the creature that adapts well to anything. I would say this is a good part of it lah. I mean, probably we are born with it, but sometimes if we adapt too much, it's not good as well. Sometimes it's good that we can wake up and actually start to observe things around us, the changes around us. Probably 10 years before, the gap probably is because too long. So people tend to ignore them. They just adapt from time to time. Because every time, if there is, let's say, Shah, what you have mentioned, the temperature change keep on increasing every year. But there's a slight change on here, maybe within actually 1 degree Celsius hotter is already it's a big difference already. But yet, people are adapting to it. So within 10 years, maybe we are looking at probably 3 degrees Celsius of temperature increase. So yeah, people still think 3 degrees Celsius still okay ma. But actually it's getting a lot more hotter. Like right now, you say last time you get to play on a field 3 to 4 p.m. Right now, when you go out, I'm sure you'll get sunburn like thorough, right?
Yeah, we
So
also
yeah,
have limited time to go to play. That is not fun anymore.
exactly. And perhaps that's more than just temperature increase. There are more, like for example, you mentioned, you get to see animal now, even animal themselves, probably they are the first one who get affected, but it's just that people don't take notice. But now that they are coming out more closer to our daily life, now that we are figuring out, ah, you know, probably it's become like a free zoo, but actually it's not healthy, it's not right. They are not supposed to be seen on the street, and the danger imposed onto them perhaps is higher, much higher. So yeah, having said that, I just want to hear from both of you on this part. Like, having to observe and you guys are already experiencing the changes, what scares you the most? Like, when you are, experiencing all this. But Shah, you want to share from your point of view?
What scared me the most would of course, the first would be the temperature rising, because when the temperature rise, we know that the iceberg is melting and the sea level will rise. And Malaysia, I'm not sure Malaysia is high enough to survive. So, like the meme states, if you not learn to change, you need to learn how to swim. That is definitely right, and
Oh
I'm
yeah.
afraid that might happen in future. As back then, before the COVID, we always see the memes saying like, people in the future will fighting by oxygen, and now
Mm-mm.
we're literally struggling buying
For
oxygen
the oxygen.
to
Yeah,
breathe because
exactly.
of the virus right now. So yeah,
Feeling the no. Okay, I can echo with
so
you.
yeah, everything like you make a joke right now might
Yeah,
actually happen in the future. So that scared me the most, definitely.
exactly. Exactly. Now that you're seeing it in real life, yeah, actually, I didn't relate to that, but now that you relate to that, I find it makes sense. Now we sort of like get a glimpse of it. In future, it's not so much of maybe hopefully we don't have COVID anymore, but yeah, right now even for COVID virus, we are already fighting for this oxygen. But I can't imagine if in future our air is no longer safe to breathe anymore. Wow, I can't imagine. The impact will be double up. Yeah. How about Minyu? What scares you the most? I mean, for someone who on ground actually get to see every day.
Mm, for my case will be, I think that the extinction of species for the
Yeah.
animals, and then as well as the oxygen that we breathe in, as you mentioned just now, causes more allergies. Like we ourselves can feel that the breathing is not, it's not
So smooth, right?
the it's not as clean as before, the air. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
breathing difficulties and some allergies coming out.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
that's the main thing like I'm worried about lah.
Understand. I'm not sure about you guys lah, but I personally I do have sinus. So whenever the air is slightly unclean, a little bit polluted, then that's where I probably get to sense that I would say. So I've blocked nose and everything. So yeah, and it's not a good experience to go through. Yeah. So exactly, I can also echo with what Minji say, because I do picture myself in future talking to the kids, using the animal. Probably I have to draw out the animal for them to see, because in future, yeah, maybe like what Aiki say, in future probably we have to show to our younger generation about the animals that exist through planet documentary, through TV, but we can't really see it real life because they are no longer there. So it's actually a sad things to imagine. And right now, having to think of like actually we can do something about it right now. That people don't take it serious, people don't think that it's coming. But if you're looking around, like what Shah points out, a good point, we are already starting to stealing or fighting for the air, the oxygen. So yeah, exactly. But I'm not sure if the rest from our audience, if you have any other thing that fears you the most about the changes that you have observed or experienced, you can also type it in the comment below. So for Sha and also Minyu, in your opinion, do you think climate change can be reversed, or is it an inescapable trend? Do you think it can be reversed? Perhaps Shah, you want to go first?
Okay. Personally, I think yes, climate change can be reversed, but like we three cannot do it. Only three people. We need you together, and we need to take action now. We cannot we cannot wait for other bad thing happen and then take action. We need to take action right away. And there are so many NGOs out there that
Yep.
and yeah, trying their best to reverse the climate change, but still we don't have enough energy, I think. So we need everyone to do it together, start to change their lifestyle in order to reverse the climate change. That's my point
Understand.
of view. Yeah.
Understand. That means we need collective action from all people around us to actually do something. Of course, we have been saying that we alone can do something about it. Yes, we can change. We can, we can speak out for create awareness, like what both of you are doing right now. But still, we need people to wake up and to change from their daily life, even just for a small thing, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. How about Minju? What do you think? Is it there's still chance for us to reverse it, or we are already in it? There's no chance for us to fight back, or what do you think?
I think we are already in it and it cannot be reversed already. But we
I
can do our
see.
best to like stop this, not really stop lah, but just lessen the impact. Do our
Yep.
part to lessen the like human emissions,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
burning. Yeah.
Exactly. But do you think it's worth it for us to, give it a try? For at the moment, if you think that we are already in it.
Yeah. We should do our best for it lah. Not like try.
Understand.
We should.
Do our, we should do our
Yeah,
best.
for our future
Yeah.
generation and ourselves as well, and the
Yeah.
nature and wildlife.
Having said that, yeah, I just want to hear from both of you. Like, if you are saying that yes, probably we are already in it, we are already experiencing climate change. Yes, that one I agree as well. And I just want to know, like, what makes you, or what is the motivation behind that still, encourage you to speak up for this issue, even though it's not an easy topic to discuss with, to even to talk to the people around you. When you talk about climate change, people are like, that's none of my business. Let others to settle. Or probably we have other things to attend. We have no time for climate change. We often hear this from people or some of the friends or family. So what still, keeps you going and, you still involve or volunteer in this field? What are things that you believe that motivate you to do so? Maybe me or Shah or Minyu, either?
For me, I
Shah?
think
Yeah.
because first of all, I love myself. I don't want to get right because like I always use the story of boil the frog in the boiling water. It's
Yeah.
like it's like the frog adapting the temperature of the boiling water, and at the end, RIP.
You just got
And I
cooked.
don't want to be the frog. I want to jump out of that boiling water and start to take action and start to just try my best to convince other people to also jump out of that boiling water and start it now,
Yeah.
so we can
Yeah.
avoid
Yeah.
to be like the frog.
Frog.
Yeah.
Cooked frog. Exactly. I mean that's also the story that inspired me to do what I'm doing right now. Yeah, because I don't want to be the frog. I don't want to left unknown, like I don't want to, leave myself being ignorant of what's happening. I want to be aware and constantly aware of what's happening so that I can be prepared for the whichever that comes ahead lah. Right. How about Minji? What's that thing that keeps you going?
Most of the people around us are the boiling water ones, adapt to the boiling water. So there's not much people will like speak up for it. You'll be the one if you speak up for it. But it's you have to have someone to speak for it first, so people will have this awareness. So that's
Yep.
what makes me have this motivation to talk about it. And we are
Understand.
experiencing it. So it actually affects our daily life also. You feel it, you know it, but you can't do anything much to it. Like everything, I cannot do anything lah, but actually you can. So like it's
Understand.
an awareness thing lah.
Understand. So rather than waiting for the rest to actually take action, why not we just do first, then see if we can actually influence more and more people to do so.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, it's really good to have two, of this young volunteer who are taking the proactive to actually attend to the issue rather than waiting. That's exactly the attitude that we want from people today's, whether they are youth or they are the older generation, senior generation, I don't care. But yeah, that's what we need, more and more people like you guys taking the proactive step or being proactive to attend to the issue rather than just complaining, saying that it's hard and we don't have tree, or let's change the energy from being complaining to actually taking action and to see what we can actually do from our end, and to attend to address the issue. So I'm just curious, like if right now since you're already involved in environmental field, you are already a volunteer, and perhaps some of you are already a steering committee and perhaps an educator. So if you have an opportunity to be a politician, or I wouldn't say politician, but government, government or politician, what will you do to fight climate change? Or perhaps if you don't want to be a politician, if there is any other role that you want to be in future, you can also share. So if you have a choice today to be someone that you dream of, who will it be? And what would you do using that role or that opportunity to fight against this climate change? Yeah. And perhaps anyone you dream of. Maybe when we are kids, we used to think of, we want to be astronaut, we want to be this. Yeah. So when I was young, when I was in my college, I have a dream of becoming a farmer. So I think this dream is definitely achievable right now. Seeing so many urban farmer, rising up in the community area, and we do know some of them, they are already into what they have dreamed of. They are already paving their way towards their dream, and they are doing so well. So and that's where I, having that dream and involving, that's where I get a bigger perspective about this climate change, what's happening. Actually, it's all linked together. So right now, I think younger kids, our paradigm are more open up. We see more things because thanks to the technology and everything. So our dream can range from, not like last time, must be accountant here, but our dream usually are limited to a few accountant, but now it's more widened up the scope. So I'm not sure, maybe Shah or Minji, you have come across anything that you think you want to be? Shah?
For me, in terms of if, I think I would rather choose money. So I would be aware rich guy because we know the main activities that lead to this climate change is from that rich people, I guess. Rich people that just want money, and they don't even care about the effect of it. So maybe by having more money than them, we can against them. So that will impact more than what other are doing in small things. It's gonna take a long time, but it's work too. But by having more money, we know that having more money have more power. So that would be have a lot of ability to against them.
To do things. Understand. So perhaps I would conclude, or I would say that of becoming a maybe billionaire. But no, I mean, with money, then so that you can do a lot more things, you can perhaps initiate a little bit more efforts to attend to this climate change issue, I would say. Agree. I mean, though, we don't want to admit that money it's the main focus, but yet, yes, with money we can do a lot more things.
Yeah.
How about Minyu?
For me, it's actually quite simple. Like I will demonstrate it by myself. Like teach our future generation like how to recycle and those to. It's like a long-term thing. If you teach them, they can do it in the future also. It's like
Understand.
a education thing. So
Educator.
yeah. You influence one and they bring to another person, and one by one they can do it by themselves, and the impact is bigger lah. Like this, like we do it ourselves, and they see like, hey, Jeje do it like this also. Like maybe like recycle will help in the people won't burn so much rubbish and all. Yeah, so it's like a action for them, like do a role for them to follow.
Understand.
Simple thing
So
that
it's
everything
more
can
of
be.
like a educator role, is it? Educator
Yeah,
role,
it's
like
like
you want to
simple things
show a
that
role
everything.
model.
Yeah, simple things that everyone can do, so they won't feel like very burdened
Yeah,
in their daily
understand.
life that they can do lah. Mm.
Understand. It's a beautiful dream, I would say, because definitely if you want to aware people or create more awareness, we need educator like you guys, you know, to share your experience or what you're doing to inspire them to actually speak up as well. Yeah. So okay, I have one last question for both of our guests. What in yeah, in your opinion or from your end right now, since we are coming towards the end, what advice do you have for your peers when it comes to speaking up about climate change? You know, what advice you have for them? Yeah, Fen say never underestimate the power of influence. Both of you are great, Minyu and Sha. So we have received a lot of positive comment and yeah, from our audience as well. So yeah, what advice do you have for your peers to actually, perhaps you want to ask them to join you in your programs, or perhaps you think that maybe they can start with their daily life, doesn't have to start big, you know, they can start small. Yeah. Or is there anything that you're involved in right now that you want to create awareness, you want them to actually be aware more about the issue that you're attending? Maybe Minyu.
I I think that it's like saying something that people might think that you are not that not that weird lah. People say weird lah because this is a topic that people of my age don't really talk about. It's like a out of the circle topic. So it's already, if they try to talk about it, it's already a very good thing lah. Not a good thing lah. They out of the, they tried, they did out of normal already. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, so if they really speak out about climate change, that means that they have aware about the problem. Like they will say about the temperature, the smoke and all. They know about it, and they know about wildfire. They have the awareness. But that's when things happen, they only like sharing around. You can see around IG stories or Facebook. That's when thing happens, then the awareness level is very high. Yeah. Instead of just saying or sharing about it during the things happen, or this uncontrollable incidents happen, like maybe in daily life they can like, lesser the aircon can don't open lah, don't start the engine. Yeah, like small things you can say to your family or friends while waiting. Yeah,
Understand.
it's like daily small things lah.
Yeah, that means just make it a daily topic, maybe.
Yeah.
Just discuss about it, so that there's one thing that keep on pop in your mind whenever you do things. You think twice whether how it will actually link to the big picture of climate change and everything.
Yeah, so it won't be so out of the norm. It's like a daily linking thing lah.
Understand? How about Sha?
For me, I think I think my advice would be, if you want to start to speak up, or start doing things, you need to educate yourself about what are you going to involve yourself to, by maybe like go search more about it. But by saying educate yourself, it doesn't mean like you need to go sit down to read all the fact or info on Google, read it. But you can also, like for me, I cannot do that. That is so boring. I want to go to the field, work with it,
Experience.
taking action, yeah, hands-on kind of learning about what is happening, listen it myself with my mentor, let my mentor expose it to me, like what is the problem, what is issue, and what we can do about it. Maybe you can also go to the Minyu also teach about this, right? She can expose to you about what you want to know more, and yeah, by doing this, I think you will be more confident to speak out about it. And yeah,
Exactly.
and you know that
Exactly.
what you learn and what you know about it is true. From
Understand.
there, like if you do
Exactly.
hands-on, you know what's your interest about taking action, because as we know, they got a lot of volunteering activities out there, like um oh my, I don't know in English, like penyu conservation,
Penyu,
tanam
turtle
ayam
conservation.
bakau. There's a lot of activities, yeah, that you can do,
Yep.
and you can find your interest and start to it. That's
Yep.
my opinion.
What I can see, it's me, you, and Shah have give a different, how to say, example of how people or all of you can, who are watching live with us, could involve yourself. Like, for example, if you don't feel like moving around, or maybe right now it's not safe to move around, but at least you can start talking with your friends, so that we can make it a daily conversation or daily conversation. But you can talk about it, as a just to discuss and get different opinion. And for Shah case, perhaps if we have opportunity in future, have chance, like if you are like Shah, you can't really sit still, you want to go experience and feel it, then there are a lot more programs where you can involve. Right now, of course, most of it is conducted virtually, but you can still get to know first before you actually go to the field. You get to know what's happening out there, and maybe about environment, about animals, about perhaps whether you like turtle or you like birds or anything. A lot of things, a lot of opportunity that's out there for you to explore. So yeah, thank you so much, Min Yu and also Shah, for your interesting sharing and also insightful sharing. So it's cool to see how both of you actually have different volunteer experience, yet both of you feel the impact of climate change. In your daily life, perhaps you see it from your own experience while you are volunteering, or perhaps even in your daily life as you are walking by, then you observe some of the things that people is adapting, I would say, so they don't really feel it, but you are more aware of it, then you're experiencing, you're feeling it right now. So in fact, the evidence of climate change is all around us. It's not an abstract problems for the future. It's already happening now. And I would say the best way to avoid the worst possible climate outcome is actually to act right now. Okay, to take action like both of you, what you have shared. And yeah, with that, I hope if those of you who wants to find out more about the projects that the environmental projects that Shah and Mingyue involved in, or you want to participate, you're welcome to follow them on their Facebook page as listed below. And yeah, with that, Shah and Mingyue, thank you so much for sharing. Perhaps you can take a rest behind the stage then as we move on to the next session. Thank you so much. So to our audience, it's not the end of the session yet. Please don't leave, yeah? It's not the end. I believe what both of our guests have shared, just now might stir up some of our curiosity towards the topic of climate change. And therefore, we are very honored to invite Dr. Ahmad Zafir Abdul Wahab from the Habitat Foundation to share his insight on the impact of climate change on to Dr. Ahmad. Hi, Dr. Ahmad.
Hi, good morning.
Morning, Dr. Ahmad. Thank you for joining us for this live session.
Okay, just technical check. Do I sound clear? Can you hear me clearly? Clear tak?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Maybe for those joining us on live, yeah, right now you can also type in if you can hear Dr. Ahmad what he say. Yeah, while I just do a little bit of background to introduce our special guest, Dr. Ahmad. So Dr. Ahmad, he's a wildlife conservationist with extensive experience working on the conservation of large mammals, including tiger, elephant, and rhino, as well as the protection of wildlife habitat. So he has been working on conducting wildlife survey, patrolling, and enforcement work in Malaysian jungle. And apart from that, he's also a passionate communicator, as you can see. And he believes the importance of engaging the public through environmental conservation. So, and also education. So let us welcome. They also commented saying that they can hear you loud and clear, Dr. Ahmad. So with that, I'll hand it over to you. Perhaps you, I'm sure you have a lot of information and also insight to share with our audience about this climate change topic and also how it actually impact our biodiversity. So
Just to double check, my talk should be around 20 minutes, right? 20 minutes to half an hour.
Around 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
don't worry. You can share as long as you want.
Okay, let me share screen.
I'm sure they're interested to hear more from you.
Okay,
So,
screen.
so Dr. Ahmad, right now you are sharing from the Habitat Foundation or you are sharing from your home?
I'm at home now.
I see.
Can you see my slide now?
Hold on a second. Yep, we can see your slide. Those of you who are joining live, if you can see the slide or you cannot see, you can also type it in the comment and let us know. Yeah, right now we can see the slides. Yep, but it's not in presentation mode.
I already changed. On my computer, it's already on.
Really? Maybe Dr. Ahmad, you can try pressing on the reading mode. Yeah, sometimes when we press presentation, although it's on our laptop, it seems like it, but I'm not sure why some of the device or some of the apps, they don't really show even if we press in presentation mode. Perhaps reading mode will work. Yeah, it's okay. Take your time.
Hold on.
So for those of you, our previous guests have shared, Shah and also Minyu, if you have any thoughts about this topic, you can also type it in the comment and let us know. If like those of you, previously I still see a lot of people writing cheese. I don't see any crackers though. So yeah, I hope that, on more on your perspective towards this topic, as you can feel like, oh, maybe some of you have already experienced it, but you don't know. It's a sign. And now that you know, you can actually share it with your friends. Yeah. Perhaps, Dr. Ahmad, would you like us to share from our end?
Just let me try again.
All right, sure, no problem. Take your time, no worries. So it's early morning for Saturday. Will you be going to the Habitat after this?
Oh no, today is I'm not working today.
It's off day. Thank you so much, even more
this
so
one
for
should
joining us. Yeah, all right, let's see. Yeah, it works. Yeah, we can see it in full screen right now.
Okay.
So, yeah, over to you. Perhaps.
Okay. Thank you, Kimberly. Okay, hi, good morning, everybody.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning in the Sembang session. My talk will just be very simple, and I hope that we can discuss. If you have any questions, do ask me if you have any questions at the end or after I've presented all the slides. And then don't worry if you ask any hard questions, we will Google it together. Kimberly will help us to Google.
Okay. Sure, no problem.
Okay. So this is the first question that we need to know. We need to really understand. Is the world changing? Lately, if we watch the news or if we read people posting on social media, there have been a lot of incidents of flooding, more frequent flooding. Forest fire, last year forest fire happened in South America, and then it also happened in Australia. And then people have also been talking about the melting ice in the North Pole. So, but then certain people, they still don't see that it's not a problem for Malaysia. Maybe it's for other countries, but not for Malaysia. And then they think that, oh, I'm not going to be affected, so I should not be worried about it. So what is actually climate change? Okay, so climate change refers to change in weather pattern over time. Okay, it's not daily, it's not weekly, but then we monitor climate change for a long period, for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Then you can see the changes. You can see the difference from, not like it rained last night, but then it doesn't rain today. That's just the weather. So you need to be able to differentiate between climate and also weather. Okay, that's weather pattern, that's different. Climate change is a long-term changes, okay, whether due to natural causes or result of human activities. Okay, before I go further, I would like to share with you this video that will basically explain what's happening in our atmosphere now. So before the Industrial Revolution, there's already there are some activities, right? Human activities, there are some activities, but not much. So we produce greenhouse gases from burning of coal to produce electricity, and then in producing food, in agriculture activities, in land use changes. So these activities produce carbon and also other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. But because of there's still a lot of sinks, which sinks are meaning ways that this carbon and these gases that can be absorbed back to Earth. Okay, those gases are being absorbed and being, okay, so some will remain in the atmosphere and some will be absorbed. Okay, so that is before the Industrial Revolution. But after the Industrial Revolution, there are more industries, more transportation, more other energy related gases emit gas. There are a lot of land use changes, forests being cut down. So the sinks, which means the ability of Earth to absorb these gases in the atmosphere, reduce. So that means there are more carbon and also other greenhouse gases that are trapped in the atmosphere. So that is why that causes the changes. That's what causes climate change. Okay, so let's go next. Okay, so let's see the climate change trend globally. For the past since 1900s, from 1900s, there has been global average temperature increase. Okay, and from then it has increased already 1 degree Celsius, okay, until 2020. For climate change, it doesn't really need to increase by 10 or 10, 15 degrees Celsius. Just minimal increase would be able to really affect our life. Okay. Now let's look at the global extreme weather events. Okay, from 1980 to 2015, you can see that in just the blue line, it just really increased from less than 50 incidents up to less than 50 incidents of floods, comes to 3,742 flooding events. Storms also have increased tremendously. And then drought has also increased. Okay, for the extreme temperatures, we don't really see because it's a spike. It just up and down. But then, there's some pattern of change that we can see from the graph. Now, let's look at in our area. Let's look in Georgetown. What's happening in Georgetown? Okay, from 2019, let's just look at the light blue line. Okay, the average temperature. We can see from the light blue line, okay, it has on average since 2009 to 2020, there's been increase in the average temperature for Georgetown. It's the same with the rainfall. I'm sure if you have, most of you have noticed that for the past few years, Penang has been really experiencing a lot of rainfall. There've been more frequent incidents of flooding in Penang. Just look at the graph from 2019. It was quite stable from 2019 to 2015, and then it was quite low from 2015 to 2018. But then in 2019 and 2020, it just increased tremendously. So what's happening here? Okay, let's also look at the average wind speed. Okay, we can also see when there's changes in the atmosphere, there will be changes in the wind speed. Okay, so there's also increase in the speed of wind that we have been getting in Georgetown. So, okay, so let's go back. Greenhouse gases not just produced by human. Okay, some are natural causes. Okay, volcanic eruptions. If you remember one incident, maybe some of you have learned in school, alam dan manusia before, when Gunung Krakatau in Indonesia erupted. So it really had almost half of the world was covered in smog, and that really affected the climate during that period. And also sun also causes change, greenhouse effect. And we do need this greenhouse, but then at a certain amount, but not too much. Okay, naturally we do need these greenhouse gases to make us warm, to make Earth warm, to be livable. If without these greenhouse gases, if there's no greenhouse gases at all, then Earth will be too cold for us to stay. It'll be -5 to -8 degrees Celsius around that. So it'll be too cold for us without these greenhouse gases. So we need these greenhouse gases, but not too much. That's the most important thing. Okay, so now, sorry. Let's look at the human activities. So let's look at the human activities. So one is deforestation. We have a lot of forests in the past, but there has been a lot of land use changes. We need development, so a lot of forests have been lost. Burning of fossil fuel. For your information, most of our electricity comes from burning of coal, arang batu. Okay, not all of our electricity comes from hydro dam power. Okay, hydroelectric dams. Okay, then overpopulation. Yeah, people do a lot of activities that produce these greenhouse gases that would affect. And then there's also pollution that can bring in gases like methane and burning of plastic that could bring in a lot of nitrous oxide and a lot of other gases into the atmosphere. Where is my cursor? Okay. Coming back to forest loss. Malaysia is among the highest percentage of experiencing forest loss from year 2000 to 2012. So when we lose our forest, so what happened? One, if the forested area is being burnt, that will produce a lot of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide into the atmosphere. That is one. Number two, it will reduce the ability for our forest to absorb this carbon back to earth. So that will certainly affect the climate. Okay, and then let's look here for Malaysia. The greenhouse gases emission from 1990 to 2011. Okay, I'm sure if we have the diagram for until 2020, we can see a continuous increase. Okay, so the resources for this for the greenhouse gases will include from agriculture, from transportation, from residential and commercial activities, energy industries, manufacturing industries and construction. Okay, so those are the main one. And agriculture is quite high. The one producing here. Okay, this is the important part. Are we affected? A lot of people think that no, I don't need to be worried. It's not going to happen to me. It's just happening in the west, or is it only happening in the northern hemisphere? So I shouldn't be worried about it. Okay, so is that true? Okay, number one, it will certainly affect us. Okay, first it will affect the habitats, the wildlife habitat. Small change in temperature can affect the entire ecosystem. Okay, because some species, they need certain range of temperature to live. Okay, as an example, in Penang, there is one endemic crab, Josusama faustum. Okay, this crab can only be found in Penang Hill. It is around. It can only be found at 700 meters above sea level only. So it stays there because it needs the cool temperature. Okay, so 700 meters above sea level, and the highest point for Penang Hill is 835 meters. Okay, so that's the only place that this crab can be found. Okay, with the current temperature. Okay, so let's imagine if the temperature increase for few degrees Celsius, what would happen to this crab? Because now it can only be found 700 meters and above. Okay, so it can be found 700 meters to 830 meters. Okay, for now. But when the temperature increase, so it will need to go higher to go and adapt at the temperature that it wants. It need to live. But then Penang Hill is only 835 meters above sea level. Where can it go? There's no other place for it to go. So it'll just, I don't know, you just need to adapt, or maybe it'll just die off. Okay, so that's one, habitat loss. Number two, coral bleaching. Yeah, corals also, corals living also depends a lot on the temperature, because when it's too hot, it'll get stressed, and then it'll expel the zooxanthellae, the algae that lives in it, and then it'll just die off. Okay, and then frequent extreme weather. I've mentioned earlier, there'll be a lot more forest fire. Yeah, but then for Malaysia, maybe we won't have forest fire, but then we would have more. It'll be some researchers say that it'll be weirder and wetter climate for the tropical region. Okay, what does it mean? So it'll be more rain, more frequent flooding. Normally we have our monsoons, right? But then suddenly we have weirder patterns that is no longer influenced by the monsoon pattern, but then it just have new patterns that we never understand. It's just suddenly, example, for Penang, normally the rainy season is between May to September, right? But then now with the climate change, it could be haywire. It can rain just more than that, more than just from May to September. Okay, then also there will be sea level rise. Okay, and then what will happen? I'll discuss about this later. I'll show to you what happened when the sea level rises. Okay, so let's now talk about food security. When the temperature increase, okay, 20 to 30% of plants and species are expected to be at risk of extinction. Okay, just imagine this, the plant that you are eating, maybe rice or tapioca or other type of food. Okay, those will be affected because crops need the right temperature to grow. Without the right temperature, they will not grow, and their food will be more expensive for us to buy because it will be harder to produce. Then it will be more expensive. Then it also affect our economy. Malaysians, Penang people love to eat fish, but what would happen if the sea gets warmer? Our fish supply will be affected. So you can say goodbye to your laksa, you can say goodbye to your char kway teow udang. Okay, and then there'll be more diseases affected. Fish that are being produced by aquaculture activities. All of those will be affected, and it will increase the price of these fishes, and also affect our pocket lah. Okay, so crop yield will also be reduced. Okay, there'll be more pests. Because of all the more frequent flooding, the yields of crop yields will also be reduced. So what about the society? Certainly, our health will be affected. People with respiration problems, people with asthmatic conditions, they will be affected. Then there will be heat strokes. People could die from heat strokes actually. Okay, and then even the nutrients in plants, in vegetables, will also be affected. The plants would have more sugar and less nutrients, so we will need to change our diets. And then people who live near coastal areas would need to find a new place to live because their house will be flooded due to the sea level rise. So it will not just affect the biodiversity, but it will affect the animals. It will affect our food. It will affect our pocket, and it will certainly affect the way we live. So there was a study conducted, and then the study mentioned that if nothing is being done to fight climate change, to mitigate climate change, some parts of Malaysia will be submerged by 2050. The research was done by Center of the Governance and Political Studies, and all states in Malaysia will be affected except Melaka, Johor, Sabah, and Wilayah Persekutuan, the Federal Territories. Okay, let's look at the Penang map. Oh no, okay. This is okay. Let's look at Selangor first. Okay, Port Klang, the pink color. Okay, on my laptop it's pink, but then on the screen it shows, is it orange?
Okay. It's pink as well.
So, okay, pink as well. Okay, so the pink area shows areas that will be underwater. Okay, just imagine. Okay, let's look. Okay, maybe Port Klang is quite far from us. Let's look at our neighbor, Kedah. What's going to happen? Most of Kedah will be submerged, except and Alostar will be like an island surrounded by water. Okay, this is Perak. On the left is Perak. So Parit Bunta will be underwater. Bagan Serai, Kuala Kurau. Okay, Kuala Sepetang, your place that people go for their mi udang, will be underwater. Okay, now let's look at Penang. Okay, Penang, some parts of Balik Pulau will be affected. Some parts in this is near down south. I think this is near Teluk Kumbar. But then if you look at the mainland, Seberang Perai Utara, Penagak area, Kepala Batas, Pematang Pauh, Jawi, Nibun Tebal will all be submerged. Okay, so after understanding why is it happening, how could it affect us? How could it affect biodiversity? How could it affect our surrounding? How could it affect our health and our community? So now we need to know how can we fight climate change? Can we really fight climate change? Okay. As individuals, we need to really practice 5 R's. Refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and then the 5th R is now ROT. What is ROT? ROT is more related to our food waste. Instead of throwing our food waste into the dustbin, first we need to need to make sure that we don't waste food lah. Okay, but then if we really have food waste, unedible food waste, unavoidable waste, then we need to make compost out of them. There's a lot of videos on YouTube or even in Facebook how you can make your own compost. No matter if you're living in an apartment or condominium, you can still do composting with your food scraps. Okay. Then number 2, as mentioned by Shah earlier, start volunteering. Join volunteering volunteering with climate change volunteering projects. There are a lot of societies, a lot of organizations that conduct this sort of programs. So you can make a difference in participating in these programs. And then the third one, you can also donate. If you don't have time, you can donate to these organizations who are doing something towards the environment. Help them to protect the environment, help them to mitigate climate change. And number 4, which is quite hard for most people, to use public transport. Or at least if you don't want to use public transport, maybe you can share vehicles. If you live in the same area with your colleague, maybe you can go to work together instead of driving 2 separate cars. We can go together. But now time of COVID, maybe cannot do that. Need to wait until COVID ends lah.
Yep.
Okay. This is an image produced by WWF. This is our big issue. This Penang people, Malaysians in general, love to use plastic. We love to tapau food, right? So we need to stop using this. Some of these are being burnt in the landfill and will certainly produce methane and will affect will increase the greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. So please stop using single-use plastics. Okay, this is just something that I just want to share. Generally, globally, okay, the first sign of food's contribution to climate change. You can see that production of beef, cheese, and pork really contribute to the climate change. So maybe we should consider reducing eating meat. Okay, that's one. Maybe we can all do that. Maybe eat more vegetables. And then, okay, with regards to plastic, there's an island of garbage in the Pacific Ocean, which is called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Okay, it's just sampah floating right in the middle of the ocean.
Yep.
Okay, number 3 is maybe we all should start planting our own trees. Plant more trees. Plant in your backyard instead of just having cemented for those in landed houses. Instead of putting everything under cement, maybe you should consider planting pokok, some mango. You don't need to plant durian trees beside your house, but then you can certainly plant things like mango, mangosteen also not big. The tree is not big, that big. Pokok chiku is also not that big, so you can certainly do that. This is also something interesting. While I was doing the research, all these buildings. What do you think about all these buildings? How for some people they think this is very messy, very semak, but for me this is very cool. This should be the trend. But then for your information, we have these sort of buildings in Malaysia. There's one Intelligent Garden City in Putrajaya, and then the Lenovo Green is also in KL, and then Grace Residence Penang. But then I'm not sure where is this Grace Residence. Do you know where is this, Kimberly? They have.
I haven't come across. Maybe near. It seems like near towards Tanjung Tokau.
Yeah, I think
sure.
so.
Let me search.
Okay, so for the Habitat Foundation, what we've done, so last year our team, we sent all our staff to plant mangrove at Sungai Aceh. So everyone out there, you can conduct programs, you can join societies, or you can also conduct your own programs in replanting. As an example, the place that we went in Sungai Aceh is being managed by PIFWA, PIFWA. You can Google that later. Is Penang Inland Fisheries Society. So they conduct mangrove tree planting. So you can just call them and tell them that that you want to come with a group of people to plant mangrove. So they'll organize it for you. They can explain to you about mangrove ecology, and then they can also serve you food after bulan puasa, of course, food that are being produced from the mangrove ecosystem. Tea from the mangrove leaves, and then the buah berembang that being turned into jam that can eat with bread, and then also they make lepat from fruits that can be found in the mangrove. So that's actually very interesting for you all to go and check that place out. Even if you don't plan to do replanting, you can just go and jalan-jalan on they have a boardwalk that you can just walk into the mangrove. Okay, now I just want to share this video. This is also a project that we are doing in Royal Belum to do habitat restoration with Perak State Park Corporation, also the TRCRC.
Is it supposed to have audio, Dr. Ahmad? Oh, it's fine with the audio as well. Wow.
If you want to look for this video, it's available on our YouTube. You can go to the Habitat Foundation's YouTube, and then you can watch it again there.
That's all. Thank you so much, Dr. Ahmad. Yeah, really, it's an interesting efforts that actually put by the Habitat Foundation to. Probably some of us we went to Balik Pulau, but we never really learned to appreciate and enjoy all those things that exist there, the plants or even the animals. Yeah, it's good that we don't take it for granted and learn to appreciate all these things, because if not, who knows, it might go extinct one day. Right. So just now talks about the Grace residents. We have a few audience who's very passionate. They actually have Googled it and gave us the address. And yeah, thank you also Aiki and Naveen for the answer. So yeah, we right now since after Dr. Ahmad has shared his give his insightful sharing, now we will open to the floor to ask any questions. If you have any regarding what Dr. Ahmad has shared. I think there are a few questions I've already posted here. So the first one is from Asha. It's asking, like, looking at the current climate change trend, will the action that we take today be enough to prevent direct impact of climate change, or would it be too little? What do you think about this, Dr. Ahmad?
Wah, Ashwani punya soalan lah. This one, very tough question. Okay, to start. Okay, no problem. We can mitigate it. Okay, but the most important thing is it need to involve everybody. Okay, if just PGC, if it is just me or the Habitat Foundation want to take action, it won't be enough. It'll take everybody in Penang. We will need everybody in Malaysia. We need support from the government. We also need support from the private agencies, from
public
industries, from the public. We need everybody to start working on it. Then we can do. Then we can stop the climate. We can mitigate climate change. Yep. Yeah. So that will be my answer. We need to work together.
Yep. Thank you, Dr. Ahmad. I wouldn't say maybe to say we can reverse it. I think it's too soon to say that. Maybe mitigate, reduce. Yeah, exactly. And but Dr. Ahmad, do you think, is there any other things that maybe we can do more in that sense? Maybe to to address it in a more this climate change in a more effective way, or is there anything that we can work on, maybe as an individual, apart from what you have shared?
I think we need to share more, as Shah has also mentioned earlier. We need to share with our friends. We need to share with our families. Schools, roadshows, PGC, Habitat Foundation, NGOs, all these societies, schools should conduct more programs, awareness programs, to show to people that this is real, and then real and is going to affect us. Okay. This sort of programs will then make people realize that then it will start to them, and then we also need to relate it back to them. Just an example. We love laksa, kan?
Yep.
Penang people, we are famous for laksa. Okay, but then how can you make laksa without fish? If there's no more fish in the ocean, and fish gets very expensive in the future because of climate change, because of increase in the sea temperature, then maybe you need to pay 50 ringgit for one bowl of laksa. So it will certainly affect you. So you don't want that to happen. And also your char kway teow or mi udang.
Exactly. So that's a good example.
So because we love to eat. We love to eat.
Correct.
So we need to tell them. So and there might also not be durians around. Who knows? Okay?
Yes.
When the temperature is different, the weather pattern will be different. You might not have durian in the future. So if you love durian, if you love laksa, if you love your mi udang and char kway teow, take care of the environment. That's my advice. That's how we can convince people to use their language. For these people, they don't care about biodiversity. They don't care about the forest, but so need to talk about food.
Exactly. I think start from their interests.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. I mean, what Dr. Ahmad has given a great example and an amazing example, which all of us can actually use. Of course, coming from an environmental background, maybe we're already familiar with that, so we're already passionate about it, already concerned about it. So it's very easy for us to persuade people from our field to actually understand or aware of this. But for people, the layman people, maybe they are busy with some other stuff, they are not aware of this issue, so we have to talk their language. And yeah, that's a good example. Starting from food, I mean, Penang, all of us, food is definitely the faster ways to connect each other, I would say.
Yes.
Every time we will start with the question, hey, have you eaten and stuff, right? So
It's all about
Dr.
makan.
Ahmad, Dr. Ahmad, we have another question from Naveen asking about with current COVID pandemic, how to persuade government to also focus on climate change as they are having a financial constraint for the COVID itself.
Naveen, you know the answer better.
Yeah,
Naveen, you know but the answer better than me. But okay, I would look at it differently. Government, I'm not just targeting it to Penang State government, but any other government should look into working together with the industries. Yeah, certainly they're having financial constraints, right? But big companies out there, they also have interest in mitigating climate change. Work with them. Maybe they can give funding. Maybe they can give grants. Maybe they can fully sponsor a program that for you to run. So the state government would not need to come out with their own money. Okay, we have the thinkers. We have Naveen and Kimberly and all in PGC and all. And work with these big companies, all these public listed companies. So work with them because they also want to make sure that they can still be operational. They want to make sure that people can still live, and they have also commitment to safeguard the environment. So work with these people, work with the government, work with the public sector, so that it will reduce the financial constraint. Yeah, that will be my opinion.
Yep, definitely. I mean, we can listen both from Dr. Ahmad because you have a different, perhaps, perspective on this as well. So thank you for your advice on that as well. So I believe all of us have a great takeaway from what Dr. Ahmad has shared, and also based on what he have answered on the questions that is posted in the comment area. So, looking at that right now, what Dr. Ahmad has shared with us is from the science background, and what our previous guests, Shah and also Mingyue, has shared with us is from their personal experience. So we have both science and sharing by our guests that actually tells us climate change is irrefutable. And it also tells us that actually it's not too late to do something to stem the tide, okay, for us to do something. But however, of course, this requires fundamental transformation in all aspects of our society, how we actually power our economy, how we utilize the natural resources in our daily life. So remember, act now. Take it serious. Remember that don't think that whatever we want to do, we can put it in the future, but treat the future as now. Okay, start doing what you could today and to reduce the impact of climate change as much as we can. All right, so with that, we would like to thank Dr. Ahmad once again for your sharing and also your answering and your advice. We really appreciate your time off, especially today, for sharing such valuable insight with our audience. And we hope all of you learned something. If you have further question that you want to ask Dr. Ahmad, please do follow them on their Facebook, on the Habitat Foundation. They are also available on website. You can find them. If you want to follow or you want to involve in their future program, you can get the latest update from their social media. So with that, Dr. Ahmad, please take a rest behind the stage as we make our last announcement to the audience. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah. So who would like to learn more about climate change and biodiversity related topic, there is an Eco-Talk program under Penang Green Council where we offer up to 17 environmental topics under this program. As you can see, this is our web banner. And the Habitat Foundation is one of our educational partners who will be sharing about this topic, climate change and biodiversity. So don't worry, you can always find them on our social media, Penang Green Council, or even the Habitat Foundation, or even our website. So yeah, here are this at the chloral there, you can actually find and like us and follow us, or you can subscribe our newsletter, and there you can get the latest update. Okay, so last but not least, thank you so much to all our audience for staying through the session with us, and I hope that you guys actually enjoy and learn something from 3 of our guests, what they have shared today. And now that I hope those of you, if you have the answer as initially you put a comment as crackers where you don't believe climate change, I hope you change to cheese at the end. So with that, thank you so much and have a nice weekend. Goodbye.